The night I was arrested, my husband didn't look surprised. He looked relieved. That's when I knew. This wasn't a mistake. It was a setup. The police found stolen jewelry in my drawer. Family heirlooms from my mother-in-law's safe. Everyone stood there staring at me like I was a criminal. My mother cried dramatically. How could you shame us like this? My husband didn't defend me, didn't question it. He just said quietly, I never thought you were this greedy. Greedy? I had funded half his business. I had paid his debts. I had supported his family for years. But suddenly, I was the thief. They took me to the station, and in that cold room, I replayed the last 48 hours in my head, because something felt wrong, too perfect, too organized. And then I remembered. 3 weeks earlier, I had installed hidden cameras in the drawer, not because I suspected theft, because I suspected betrayal. You see, I had overheard a strange conversation between my husband and my mother. Whispers, arguments, money problems. My husband's business was secretly failing. Massive losses. Loans he didn't tell me about. And my mother? She had recently changed her will, removing me, adding him. Everything started connecting. If I went to jail, he would control my shares in the company. He would inherit my assets. He would be free. And I would be ruined. But what they didn't know was that I had evidence. The next morning, I asked for my lawyer. My husband came to visit me in the holding room. He tried to look sad. I'll try to fix this, he said softly. I stared at him. You already did, I replied calmly. His eyes flickered for a second. Guilt. Fear. Then he masked it again. That was enough confirmation for me. I told my lawyer to retrieve the footage from the house cameras. 2 days later, we watched it together. And there it was. My mother entering my room, placing the jewelry in my drawer. My husband standing at the door, watching. No hesitation, no regret, clear as day. But here's the first twist. We didn't show the footage immediately. Instead, we waited, because exposing them too fast would only make them defensive. So my lawyer did something smarter. He leaked a rumor that there was no solid evidence against me, that the case might collapse. My husband panicked. My mother panicked, and when people panic, they make mistakes. 3 days later, my husband met with a private investigator, trying to destroy security, backups. But he didn't know something important. The footage wasn't stored at home. It was uploaded to a cloud account, under my maiden name, untouchable. When the trial day came, the courtroom was full. My mother cried again. My husband looked tired. The prosecutor presented the evidence. Then my lawyer stood up calmly. We have additional footage. The judge allowed it. The screen lit up, and their faces drained of color. The room went silent. The video showed everything. Clear. Undeniable. My mother gasped. My husband whispered, This isn't real. But it was. I was declared innocent. The case reversed. Charges shifted. They were now under investigation for fraud and false accusation. But here's where it gets darker. During the financial investigation, authorities discovered something else. My husband had been transferring company money to offshore accounts under my mother's name. For years. It wasn't just a frame job. It was long-term manipulation. They never planned to just blame me. They planned to erase me. My mother thought she was protecting her favorite son-in-law. She didn't realize he was using her too. And here comes the second twist. When investigators froze their accounts, my husband tried to escape the country. But his passport was flagged. He was arrested at the airport. My mother, realizing she was also facing charges, came to me crying. I did it for family. I looked at her calmly. You destroyed family. But here's the final twist. While reviewing financial records, I found something unexpected. My husband wasn't the mastermind. He was desperate. The real architect? My uncle. The one who always smiled. One who always supported me publicly. He was a silent shareholder in my company. And if I went to jail, he would gain controlling power. He had manipulated my husband's debt, encouraged the framing, promised him protection. But he underestimated one thing. I don't forgive betrayal. I expose it. So I met my uncle privately. I told him I knew everything. He denied it calmly. Until I placed printed bank transfers in front of him. His expression changed. You can't prove intent, he said quietly. I smiled. I don't need to. Because I had already contacted the board of directors and shown them everything. Within a week, he was removed, investigated, publicly disgraced. The family empire he tried to steal? It stayed with me. But here's the quiet ending no one expects. Months later, my husband sent me a letter from prison. Not asking for forgiveness. Not apologizing. Just one sentence. I underestimated you. And that was true. They all did. They thought I was emotional, trusting, easy to manipulate. They forgot something. The quietest person in the room is usually the one collecting evidence. They tried to frame me. They tried to erase me. But in the end, they exposed themselves. And I didn't even have to scream. I just pressed play.